fantastic promotion race we have on store over in League One as the playoff race heats up a little bit over this past midweek. But what's going to happen this weekend? We'll take a little look next. Video today. We look forward to match day number, I think, 35 over in League One, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe button to get you bang up to date with all things League One related, Blood and Rose related, world football related. We got it all here, boys. Under one Ruski. Who bloody knows? I don't bloody know, but of course, what I think I do know is I think Rotherham will be back in the Championship next season. They look red hot at the moment, but so do Wigan, of course. What about the mix for the playoffs? We'll take a look at it, all of it in a minute. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They're the patrons, guys. Thank you for loving, of course, behind the scenes. I really do appreciate it. You are the core of the channel. Do appreciate the love. But anyway, let's jump in the deep end, of course, and revisit the midweek games and see how we all got on with our predictions then. Of course, a bit of a delayed game over in Sunderland, of course, so a crisis in the stands. I believe everything is well over there, but it all ended up 1-1 in the end, with, again, Alex Neil still looking for his first win as Governor, as, of course, Sunderland hang on for dear life in the playoffs. Kicking off, although Cambridge picked up a 2-0 win over Plymouth, dent in Plymouth's hopes on their promotion push. Of course, MK Dons picked up a 2-0 win over Charlton. Happy about that for them anyway. Oxford United picked up a 1-0 win over Crewe. Of course, kept themselves in the thick of things. Doncaster was a big win for them over Accrington Stanley, of course, boosting their survival hopes. Look at the table in a minute. Gillingham nil, Wimbledon nil. Of course, relegation 6-pointer there. Fleetwood Town against Sheffield Wednesday was postponed. Ipswich with a 0-0 draw against Cheltenham didn't really boost their chances, did it? Meanwhile, Rotherham with a 2-0 win over Morecambe. Of course, you probably expected that. Portsmouth with a 2-1 win over Shrewsbury, called it as well. Pompey back in the hunt potentially. Wycombe did lose to Wigan. Goodness gracious me, I went the other way on that one. And of course, Bolton with another win to make it 3-1 win over Lincoln City to go up to 10th in the table. Maybe, just maybe, again, they haven't got the games in hand though they need, but of course, points to the board is what you need in the end. But of course, into the final stretches, I think 12 games now, I don't know. But anyway, this is the state of play at the top of the table. Of course, Rotherham running away with it, 72 points on the board. Wigan do have 2 games in hand. Of course, win both of those, they'll be level on points with Rotherham. Of course, MK Dons in the hunt as well. They played, I think, the max amount of games so far. Oxford also doing very well. Plymouth got a couple of games in hand, as well as to Sheffield Wednesday, of course, on the cusps. Down the foot of the table, of course, let's have a look. Crewe going down, it looks like. Gillingham scrapping for their lives. They played the games as well. Doncaster making a push for it, as are Morecambe as well. So they're in trouble, big trouble, of course, but of course, all could change very, very soon as well. Probably, I think Charlton are safe. Lincoln City downwards are in that relegation that situation. Take a look at our own league then, shall we? This is our predicted league for the midweek games. Well, we're Dr. Deepak the Great and Ticks on tour, picking up 8 score there. Well done to you all for doing your bits there. Of course, big shout out to the patrons, kicking ass and taking names, as you do. What about the mini leaderboard then? Now, I don't know if that Shepherd VO is the actual Shepherd VI. I don't know if there's a clone out there, someone else trying to become the latest Shepherd, because there only is one. But anyway, kicking ass and taking names in the mini season sort of tally is Deepak the Great with 60 points on the board. And of course, big shout out to my patrons. Again, next time you see me, you'll see, of course, the master leaderboard for League One, the predictor of the month, results, all that kind of stuff. That's coming at you next. Probably Saturday or next Sunday, I think. So here we go then, kicking off all with the next games. It will kick us all off with, do I have them? I'm not ready. I'm not bloody ready. But anyway, we're going to jump in the deep end with Accrington Stanley up against Wycombe Wanderers, of course, all taking place, I believe all taking place on the 26th of Feb. Now, these two sides have played 24 times, 2006. 8 was for Accrington, 6 was for Wycombe, and we got 10 draws, of course. Accrington coming to this on back-to-back defeats for them, 42% form for them at the moment. Meanwhile, Wycombe coming to this without a win in the last 6 games. However, just lost once in the past 4, drawing too many games for them at the moment. Of course, last time out in Accrington was a 2-1 win for Wycombe. That's back in November 2018. Of course, the reverse fixture was a 2-1 win for Wycombe way back in, of course, August. Of course, Accrington picked up a 2-0 loss against Doncaster, and it's been back-to-back games without scoring a goal for them. However, they've both been on the road. Meanwhile, Wycombe coming to this on the back of a 3-1 loss against Wigan on this one. The odds 8-5 for Accrington Stanley, 12-5 is your, and 30-8 is your Wycombe. I'm going to go with the host here with a 1-0 win. Of course, they're different. They're a different beast at home. They'll make it awkward for you, and I think they'll get the surprise W on this one. Kicking off order, Burton Albion taking on, of course, Shrewsbury Town over at the Pirelli. Now, these two sides have played each other 20 times, 2003, 5 with the Burton, 9 with the Shrewsbury, and 6 draws, of course. Just 1 with the 6 though for Burton right now. 33% form up against the Shrewsbury side, who have, of course, haven't won the last 9. 33% form, drawing too many as well. Last round over at the Pirelli, it was a 2-1 win for Shrewsbury back in March 2021. The home side has only won once at the last 6 games, and that was, of course, when Burton beat Shrewsbury back in, of course, December 2018. Burton picking up a draw against Sunderland. Of course, Shrewsbury did lose to Pompey, and again, haven't won in a long, long time. The odds, though, for this one, Burton, of course, 65 for the victory, 25 is your way, when that Shrewsbury and 23-10 is your draw. 2-1 win for me for this one, maybe Niasi scoring as well. He hasn't scored just yet, but of course he's got to score someday. Or does he? Cheltenham against Crewe in the Battle of the Seas. That's right. Now these two sides have played each other 26 times, 2002. 9 wins for Cheltenham, 10 wins for Crewe, and 7 draws. Of course, Cheltenham come to this. What are we looking at? They're unbeaten in the last 6 games, picking up 2 wins and 4 draws, 67% form. Because the Crewe side, who haven't won in the last 8, they've actually lost 7 in a row. Of course, 0% form for them at the moment. Of course, last time around was a 2-1 win for Cheltenham. Of course, back in November 2020, that was of course in the FA Cup. The last time they played in the league in Cheltenham was a 1-1 draw back in League 2. Back in September 2019. The reverse fixture, though, this season was a 1-1 draw in match number 1. Of course, over in Grestiro, Cheltenham pick up a draw against Ipswich. And, of course, Crewe picking up a loss against Oxford and scored in back-to-back games as well. Looking on to this one, we have the odds, 4-3 on Cheltenham, 14-5 is short, and 7-2 is your Crewe. Going to go with the 1-win for Cheltenham on this one. They look toast, don't they, poor Crewe. Kicking off forward is Morecambe against Ipswich Town over at the Globe. That's right, of course, played each other 2 times 2003. Nothing for Morecambe. Is it the Globe? 1 win for Ipswich Town and 1 draw. Of course, Morecambe, though, coming to this without a win in the last 6 games, pick up 3 draws, though. 25% form up against the Ipswich side, who haven't lost in the last 5. 67% form for them at the moment. Of course, last round it was over in Ipswich. It was a 2-2 draw back in August. And, of course, Ipswich picking up a 0-0 draw against Cheltenham last round. Of course, Morecambe also losing, though, to Rotherham back in, of course, the 22nd of Feb. Looking at the odds on this one, then, shall we? We've got Morecambe 60-5 for the victory, 20-99 is your Ipswich, and 12-5 is your draw. Morecambe are struggling, but I think they'll get a point on this one at home. Kicking off forward is Lincoln City up against Gillingham. You would say this is a relegation 6-pointer, but, of course, you'd fancy Lincoln to get out of it. Of course, 9 times they played each other since 2008. 4 wins for Lincoln, 3 for Gillingham, and 2 draws. Of course, Lincoln coming to this just 1 win in 6 for 25% form, and because the Gillingham side, who have just lost 1 to the past 4 for their 50% form forward, Neil Harris's boys. Last round over in Lincoln was a 3-0 win for Gillingham back in March 2021. The reverse fixture, of course, was in Gillingham. It was a 1-1 draw back in August. Gillingham picked up a 0-0 draw against Wimbledon. Of course, Lincoln picked up a 3-1 loss against Bolton. The odds, though, for this one, we have Lincoln City 10-7 on for the victory, 92 is your Gillingham, and 13-5 is your draw. 2-1 win for me for Lincoln City on this one to get themselves back to winning ways. MK Dons up against Bolton, probably one of the games of the day. Of course, informed Bolton up against an informed MK Dons. Played each other 13 times since 1995. Of course, 3 wins from MK Dons, 5 wins Bolton, and 5 draws. Of course, MK Dons, though, haven't lost in the last 7 games, picking up 4 wins in the past 6, 83% form. Up against the Bolton side, who've lost just once in the past 6, 75% form for them as well. Last round at the Stadium MK, of course, it was a 1-win for MK back in, of course, February 2020, around about this time last season. The reverse fixture, of course, over in Bolton was a 3-3 draw as well in Bolton. In fact, the away side hasn't won this game since Bolton beat MK Dons back in December 2020, the year 2000 in the Championship. Wow. Kicking off forward, MK Dons pick up a 2-0 win over Charlton. Bolton pick up a 3-1 win over Lincoln. They've won 3 on the bounce, of course, but the past 3 have been on the road. They've actually won 5 of them out, so been pretty incredible stuff for Bolton. But meanwhile, the odds for this one, 5-4 is your MK Dons, 11-5 is your Bolton, and of course 12-5 is your draw. Winning is contagious. 2-0 win though for me for MK Dons to take to the house. Oxford United up against Cambridge. It's the boat race. That's right. Now these two sides, of course, played each other 20 times since 2003. 6 wins to Oxford, 5 wins to Cambridge, and 9 draws. Of course, Oxford coming to this, winning 3 of the last 5, 58% form up against the Cambridge side, who are unbeaten in the last 3 games. Of course, 42% form for them at the moment. Of course, last round over in the Kazam, it was a 1-0 win for in the league. Was a 1-0 win for Oxford back in November 2015 in League 2. The reverse fixture, of course, in Cambridge this season back in August was a 1-1 draw as well. They also played each other in a Brucey bonus game in Cambridge in the EFL Trophy Southern Group H. It was a 4-1 win for Cambridge as well this season. So Cambridge unbeaten in 2 games against Oxford. Meanwhile, Oxford pick up a 1 over Crewe. Back-to-back clean sheets for them. Cambridge coming to this on back-to-back clean sheets as well. 2 wins over Accrington and Plymouth in succession. The odds though for this one, 13-8 on is your Oxford, 3-1 is your draw, and 92 is your away win. Going to go with a win for Oxford here, 3-1 win for them to take to the house. Kicking on forward is Plymouth Argyle up against Rotherham. A bit of a playoff encounter now. These two sides, of course, play each other according to my eyes around about 9 times. Done 4, 2 wins for Plymouth, 5 wins for Rotherham, and 2 draws. Of course, Plymouth coming to this 2 defeats, about 6, 67% form up against the Rotherham side, who are red hot form right now. 92% form for them at the moment. Of course, just 1 blip, and that was a draw in their resume. Kicking on forward though, last round over in Plymouth, there was a 2-1 win for Plymouth back in April 2018. The reverse fixture, of course, over at the New York Stadium back in, of course, match number 1 was a 2-0 win for Rotherham as well. Rotherham though did pick up a 2-0 win over Morecambe last round. Of course, Plymouth did lose to Cambridge last round. The odds though for this one, 3-1 is your Plymouth, 20-19 on is your Rotherham, 5-2 is your quite tight this one. Going to go with a 2-1 win there for Rotherham to take it to the house. Over to Fratton Park we go with Pompey up against Fleetwood. Town again on the 26th. Played each other 12 times, 2013. 7 wins for Portsmouth, 3 for Fleetwood, and 2 draws. Of course, Pompey winning 3 on the spin. 50% form up against the Fleetwood side. We haven't won in the last 6 games. However, drawing or just lost once in the past 5. 33% form, drawing 4 for the last 5 games. Meanwhile, last time out over at Fratton Park, it was a 0-0 draw back in December 2020. The reverse fixture over at Fleetwood was the one to win for Pompey as well. So Pompey have actually unbeaten against Fleetwood the last 4 occasions. Haven't conceded a goal in the last 3. Fleetwood, though, coming to this on the back of a 2-0 loss against Cheltenham. Pompey pick up a 2-1 over Shrewsbury last time around. The odds, though, 11-8 on is your Pompey, 11-4 is your draw, 15-8, 15-4 is your Fleetwood. I'm going to go with Pompey on this one with a 2-0 win and another clean sheet to boot. Into the final stretch as we go. We have Sheffield Wednesday, of course, locking horns up against Charlton, of course, a couple of years ago. This was in the Championship. Now these two sides locking horns over at Hillsborough. Played each other 23 times since 1998. 9 wins for Sheffield Wednesday, 7 wins for Charlton, and 7 draws, of course. Just 1 defeat past 6 for Sheffield Wednesday right now, 83% form. Against the Charlton side who've lost 4 in the bounce. Of course, back into relegation zones, you would think, for them at the moment. Last time out at Hillsborough was a 1-0 win in the Championship, of course, back in February 2020. The reverse fixture over at the Valley was a 0-0 draw against Sheffield Wednesday. So back-to-back games for Sheffield Wednesday against Charlton without conceding a goal. Meanwhile, Sheffield Wednesday pick up a 3-1 win over Doncaster. Of course, Charlton did lose against Milton Keynes in back-to-back games now without scoring a goal. The odds, though, for this one, Sheffield Wednesday 65 on for the 55-2 is your draw, 7-2 is your away win. That is Charlton. Going to go with a win for Sheffield Wednesday here. 3-1 win in the end, but Charlton scoring a goal at long last. Kicking on forward is Wigan against Sunderland, of course, over at the DW. A bit of a zinger this one as well. Played each other 23 times, 2003, 9 wins for Wigan, 8 wins for Sunderland, and 6 draws, of course. Wigan go coming to this on the back of unbeaten run of 4 games, of course, 58% form. Meanwhile, Sunderland coming to this, who haven't won in the last 6 games. In fact, lost 4 of the last 6, 17% form for them at the moment. Of course, last time out at the DW, it was in the league, it was a 2-1 win for Wigan. That was back in April 2021, of course, in League One. Meanwhile, the reverse fixture over at the Stadium night was a 2-1 win for Sunderland, way back, of course, match number 1. They also played each other in the EFL Cup. It was back in September. It was in the DW, and Sunderland picked up the win as well. So back-to-back wins for Sunderland over Wigan heading into this one. Now, Wigan picking up a 3-1 win over Wycombe. Of course, Sunderland pick up a draw against Burton. The odds, though, for this one, 2019 on is your Wigan, 14-5 is your Sunderland, 12-5 is your draw. Going to go with a win for Wigan here, 2-1 win for them to take it to the house. And then it is Wimbledon against Doncaster Rovers at Plough Lane. Now, these two sides have played each other 10 times, 2017. Relegation 6-pointer, of course. 4 wins for Wimbledon, 3 wins for Doncaster, and 3 draws. Of course, Wimbledon haven't won in the last 15 games. Meanwhile, Doncaster come to this rebooted a little bit. 3 wins and 3 defeats in the past 6, 50% form for them at the moment. Of course, last time out over in Wimbledon was a 2-2 draw back in November 2020. The reverse fixture, though, at the Keepmoat back in match number 1 was a 2-1 win for Wimbledon. Wimbledon now picking up a 0-0 draw against Gillingham, and Doncaster picking up a 2-0 win over Accrington Stanley last time around. The odds for this one, though, Wimbledon 10-7 on for the actually 13-5 is your draw, and 17-4 is your away win. That is Doncaster on this one. Going to go with a win for Wimbledon here. Doncaster back to losing ways. That's, of course, my take on it, guys. Be sure to get your own take on it by using the link. It is Cutley/League One. It's free to enter. Get your name in there. Get your name in lights. And, of course, next time you see me, we'll bring you a bang up to date with, of course, the leaderboard, the prediction of the month award, the master leaderboard, all that kind of stuff. That's, of course, back early next week, Monday maybe, Sunday, Monday. But anyway, that's it. Smash the thumbs up, smash the old subscribe, check out the links down below. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Twitch, I'm on Facebook, I'm also on Patreon as well. Also, if you want to become a face of the place next season representing League One, let me know down below. Of course, looking forward to for future content creators, budding ones, youngsters trying to cut their teeth in the trade. Let me know down below. But until then, guys, I'll see you soon for the next one. We are done for now.